Hello, I just wanted to come on and give some thoughts. And as usual, I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but I am, of course, still waiting for the rapture. Every day it's getting closer. We don't know when it is, but I am working for the kingdom, praying, talking to people about Jesus, and doing what I can do. But I wanted to talk about how I am feeling a major disconnect with the world and with people in general. And this has to do with because of, what I've been studying, that I see things through the Bible. And I'm sure if anybody's watching this and they're into it or they're a watcher, they understand. So it's like I've been studying this for years and years. I'm 53 now, and I feel like each thing I know or each thing I learn, and I'm not even just talking about the Bible, I'm talking about just like the world system, everything that I learn or find out, I feel it takes me one step away from the mainstream. And as you find out more things, you take more and more steps away from the mainstream. So, for example, it's like chemtrails. Chemtrails may be like step one. You find out about chemtrails, you look up in the sky and you research it. And you learn about chemtrails. And maybe you could talk to someone about chemtrails. But I'm sure we've all been down through what's called the rabbit hole. The chemtrails actually take you somewhere else. Might take you into why are they doing it, what's the nefarious purposes, and then it'll bring you down into the occult or the scientific research of the soil samples, and you could take a million different rabbit holes, but every time you discover something, you took a step away now further from the mainstream. And as you learn more and more and more, you just really feel like you don't connect with people. And I know it may sound like pompous or arrogant to say like, oh, I just learned so much I don't connect with people. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, this is my hobby for a long time. This is like the main thing that I do is, learn about Jesus and the end times and everything related to that. And, I profit from that. And it's like a painter. If a painter spent 20 years perfecting his craft, it's not arrogant for him to say that he's a better painter than, say, most people or me, because I've never tried to paint. So I don't want to say it's a skill, but it's a thing that I've been working on for a long time. I don't really think it's arrogant to say that. Like I said, it's like a painter. I couldn't compare to a painter, and it's not arrogant for him to point that out. But now, I learned something new, and I feel like, oh, I want to talk to this person about it, or I want to tell somebody. But by this time, it's like so far away from mainstream, it just sounds unbelievable. And you look, quite frankly, maybe some people think you're like a crazy nut, and it's just hard because, we all think we know the truth. That's the thing. We all think we know the truth. So I think I know the truth. My truth, which is the ultimate truth, is that Jesus is our Savior. Everything that's going on in the world and everything that I've learned about all leads back to the Bible. Crazy. I know it sounds crazy. Chemtrails lead back to the Bible. The secret societies, the government, everything. And I started this journey years and years ago when I learned about secret societies, and I first heard the word Illuminati, and I get angry because I'm thinking, who is somebody to hold with knowledge from mankind, and how wrong that would be. Come to find out, what's the secret? What's the big secret? That they're satanic, not just that, they're evil people, but they use the occult for power and control. And in the Bible it even says Satan's the prince of the power of the air. He was able to offer Jesus all the kingdoms of the world, and it's still going on. It says that iniquity has already been working, So it's hard. I find myself texting people that I don't really know that well, just because I know that they're into the same thing. I hope I'm not bugging them. But I'm really thankful for the YouTube community. Not that I post a lot, but that I learn a lot. And I always think this end time here, we are receiving. I think I'm receiving more than a double portion. I'm receiving like a quadruple portion, because without the internet, without all the information, there's no way I could learn 1/10 of what I've learned. You know, connecting the different passages, learning about the roots of the words, learning about hidden meanings, so many things, you know. And, you know, it said, seal up the words till the end. I think we're at the end and it's becoming unsealed, and how blessed we are to have a double portion. You know, maybe they call it the latter rain. But, yeah, it's hard. I'm waiting on the rapture. A lot of people are saying that this weekend, June 18th, 17th and 18th, is a high rapture watch date. And I don't think that's connected with any feast. You know, I think that the true Pentecost is in August. I don't even know if that's right. You know, but it's harder to connect with people. And I heard a YouTuber say, don't even talk about any of that crazy stuff. Just talk about Jesus, because that's the most important thing. So, you know, I got to focus on that. Don't go into that crazy kooky shit. Just talk about Jesus, what he did for us at the cross, how it's open to everybody. You just have to go to him, have a relationship with him. Like I tell my son, you know who Jalen Hurts is, but if you walk up to Jalen Hurts and knock on his door, he's not going to let you in, because he doesn't know you. And it's the same about Jesus. It's not enough to just have knowledge, head knowledge of who Jesus is. You've got to believe. It's impossible to please God without faith. And according to a man's faith, it's accounted him unto righteousness, as it was for Abraham. So believe. And if you're having trouble believing, I think you just really need to go inside yourself and talk to the Spirit, because it says the Spirit of the Lord is in us, with us, and upon us. He already knows. We already know that he knows what you're thinking, what you're feeling. He knows you better than yourself. He created you. He knows the end from the beginning. So don't hide. Don't bury it in your mind. Don't distract yourself. Really take a minute and talk to him about this issue maybe that you have of non-belief. My son, I need to remind him a lot. Just yesterday he said, Mom, how do we know that our religion's right? And I said, we have the prophecies. He said, oh yeah, that's right. That's just one reason that I know this is true. The prophecies, his true sheep hear his voice. You know, he's shown me signs in my own way and communicated with me. And, you know, don't bury your head. If you're having doubts, go to him. And, you know, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Some people, they come to Christ because they hear hell testimony videos. I mean, whatever does it for you. Everyone's going to have maybe a different way, different method, different experience. But you need to go to him. And then people, you always hear, oh, what a loving God. Believe in me or I'm sending you to hell. Well, that's not exactly how it is. How it exactly is that God gives you free will, and he will never force you to love him. And if you don't love him, you're choosing to not be with him when you die, and he is simply giving you your choice. Same thing with when people say, if there's a loving God, how could there be cancer? How could there be murder? How could there be all this evil? Well, again, God didn't do it. God gave us free will. We wanted to know what evil was. We weren't happy listening to God. He told us, knowledge of good and evil, don't do it. You'll surely die. But we wanted to know what evil was. So we found out. And now we're living in it until he calls us home. And if he would have put a stop to it years and years ago, you know, we wouldn't be here today. So, like, if Adam and Eve sinned and he didn't give them a chance, we wouldn't be here. It's through God's grace and mercy that he lets it go on, and this is really just like a dream, a vapor. This life, even though it's tribulation, and God tells us it will be tribulation, you know, it's only the beginning. It's the beginning of walking through the door of eternity. Which door are you going to choose? And that's the key. Choice. It's your choice. You have free will. If you choose not to be with God, then you're choosing not to be with God and go to heaven and all the blessings that he provides. He's giving you what you want. You know, and I just pray for everybody. I see these satanic bands. You know, I'm really into hard rock. I like it. I say prayers before I listen to it or as I'm listening to it, and I might change the words to reflect Jesus and his glory, and I think about that in my head. But I see these satanic bands, or I see open Satanists, and you know what? It freaks me out. And I look in their eyes. I look in their eyes and I think, this person is doomed, and they don't realize it. And this is what it looks like to look into the face of someone who is hellbound. Very scary. And I pray for all of them. I mean, beautiful, beautiful women, beautiful men, talented people. You know, they've been brainwashed by society. You see it everywhere. You see it everywhere. Good has become evil, evil has become good, and we will become more persecuted because we are seen as holding up the world's happiness, or the world's progress, let's say. You know, but we need to stand strong for Jesus. I'm waiting on the rapture. I hope it happens this weekend. I've been saying that forever, but I have joy in my heart. Joy in the Lord is my strength. And it can be yours too. Just talk to him. I hope you have a wonderful day.